Do you know what the most heartbreaking thing in life is? It's not being abandoned by strangers. Strangers owe you nothing. The most heartbreaking thing is when those closest to you don't truly care about you as much as you think. It sounds cruel, but try to remember your toughest times. How many people who said they would always be there for you actually showed up? How many people who promised to help you only sent a simple cheer-up message? And how many only reached out to you when they needed something? The truth is, most of us don't hurt from being abandoned. We hurt from having our expectations misplaced. There's something quite interesting about human nature. We often judge other people's feelings based on what they say, when we should be judging them by what they consistently do. Someone might say they care deeply about you. They might promise to always support you. They might call you the most important person in their life. But when you really need them, they disappear faster than a Wi-Fi signal in the rain. It sounds ironic, but sometimes some people's promises have a shorter shelf life than a carton of milk in the refrigerator. The funny thing is, we always try to find excuses for them. They must be busy. They must have something to do. I'm overthinking it. Once might be true. Twice might be true. But if someone is always there when they need you and always absent when you need them, it's no longer a coincidence. It's a pattern. Psychology has a very simple principle. People prioritize what they truly value. We always say we don't have time. But the truth is, we just don't have time for things that aren't on our priority list. Someone might say they're too busy to call you, but have hours to scroll through social media. They might say they don't have time to see you, but they still manage to arrange a coffee meeting with someone else. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means you're not where you thought you were. This is what hurts so many people. They love others the way they want to be loved. They care wholeheartedly. They're always there. They're always listening. And then they secretly hope that when they're in trouble, others will do the same. But life doesn't operate on the principle of reciprocity. Not everyone who receives sincerity knows how to reciprocate. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us that one of the greatest causes of suffering is expecting others to act in a way we believe is right. If you think about it carefully, this is worth pondering. We don't just expect others to love us. We also expect them to love us in the way we want them to. And when that doesn't happen, we feel betrayed, even though sometimes they never promise to be the person we imagined them to be. Stoic people aren't pessimistic about relationships. They just observe them more soberly. They don't trust someone just because of a few nice words. They look for consistency. They look for who shows up when things get tough. They look for who still treats them kindly when they're no longer useful to them. Because it's those moments that reveal the true nature of a relationship. Perhaps you've experienced this feeling. When you succeed, your phone is busy. Everyone congratulates you. Everyone says they always believed in you. But when you fail, the silence comes surprisingly quickly. Suddenly, those who used to say, "Call me if you need anything," are harder to reach than ever before. This sounds bitter, but sometimes adversity doesn't just show you how strong you are. It also lets you know who truly stands by you. That's why the first lesson isn't about blaming those who don't care about you. The first lesson is to stop building your happiness on the expectation that everyone will love you the way you love them. Because the moment you stop demanding that others be your source of peace, you'll begin to see clearly who truly stays for you, and who only stays for what you can offer them. This is also the time to accept a truth that many people avoid. Not everyone close to you is on your side. Geographical distance and emotional distance are two completely different things. There are people who live half a world away but are always ready to listen when you need them. And there are people who sit at the same table with you every day but have never truly cared about your feelings. That's why closeness should never be measured by the number of years you've known each other, but by their presence during the most difficult times. The funny thing is that many people only realize this after a major event. When things are going well, everyone smiles at you. Everyone says they're proud of you. But as soon as life starts to go downhill, you'll see the list of people who always stand by you shrink surprisingly quickly. At that point, Don't be bitter. Life doesn't take anything away from you. It's just helping you. There's a fascinating paradox. We often spend more time maintaining unhealthy relationships than building relationships with ourselves. We fear disappointing others, yet we're accustomed to disappointing ourselves. We fear losing someone who doesn't truly care, but we don't realize that each time we try to hold on to them, we're losing more of our own self-respect. Stoic people understand that feelings can't be forced. You can't make someone care about you just by caring more about them. Nor can you make someone appreciate you just by sacrificing more. If that worked, perhaps the world wouldn't have so many lonely people living for others. This is a mistake many kind people make. They think that if they give enough, others will eventually change. They continue to help. They continue to listen. They continue to be there whenever others need them. But in return, when they themselves need a shoulder to lean on, all they receive are promises or silence. Sadly, they continue to blame themselves for not being good enough, instead of accepting that not everyone appreciates kindness. There's a thought-provoking saying, "Don't expect an apple tree to give you oranges." It sounds simple, but many people are doing just that in relationships. They constantly expect a selfish person to become selfless. They expect a person who only knows how to receive to learn to give. They expect someone who has never listened to suddenly understand their feelings. Hope is beautiful, but misplaced hope often only prolongs pain. Interestingly, when you stop chasing the approval of people who don't truly care about you, life becomes much lighter. You no longer have to try to impress. You no longer have to explain every decision. You no longer feel guilty for prioritizing your own peace. And it is at that moment that you have enough space to realize that there are still many people who genuinely care about you. It's just that before, you were too busy pursuing those who never truly saw your value. Mature people don't measure their self-worth by the number of people around them. They measure it by the quality of those who remain after life's ups and downs. Because one truly sincere person is worth more than dozens of relationships that only existed while you were still useful. When you understand that, you will no longer fear losing those who never truly cared about you. You will see it as life's natural selection process. Finally, if one day you realize that the people very close to you don't truly care about you, don't despair. See it as an opportunity to stop searching for your value in the eyes of others. Because the strongest person isn't the one who is loved by everyone. The strongest person is the one who can still live a decent, peaceful, and happy life, even knowing that not everyone who enters their life will truly stay. And perhaps the most thought-provoking question is, among those you always try to keep by your side, how many truly love you for who you are, and how many only love the feeling you give them?